So the question, who am I, is not a question to find out really who am I, because I'm not really here. And this is seen when the seer is not there anymore, or there's no thinker that thinks thoughts, emotions, reality within objects, and so on. So self-inquiry, it's not that it gets you somewhere or it gets you nowhere. It cancels the experience of the time, of the traveling in time and space, because space can't exist without time. Cancels the whole experience of feeling like an individual. And then when there's no individual, there's no sense of experience or awareness of something, and there's only, you can say, the self with a capital S, or the boundless energy. But this boundless energy can't be seen because there's still a mind which has impressions and residues, and this mind goes on and off, but in deep sleep it can't be seen. And when it's seen in wakefulness or dreaming, it appears exactly like a mirage, something which is very scary, but it's not actually there, and it's illusory if it's sought for. But if you are not focusing on the illusion and the attention is focused automatically on the eye which perceives the illusion, it's not even happening. It's not something that's happening because there's no experience of that. And this can be like a lot for a mind to take, because it's very, very thought-provoking. But having no experience is the answer to all questions. So the more you question outside, the more you'll get an experience, and that experience will still be illusory, happening within a dream. So self-inquiry is like this. There's no more need to go outside and find. The subject can't attach to anything else anymore, and somehow it focuses attention within. But within, it's penetrated, and it's seen that there's no one there having actually an experience. So it's, you can say, abiding in the source, abiding in the heart, whatever, but this has to be done spontaneously, otherwise it will be a practice. So it will be thoughts about abiding as the source and not really abiding as the source or as this boundless energy. But when somehow these impressions go off naturally and everything is consumed, there's a point when there's little impressions and the mind is matured enough to actually understand what's being said here. Otherwise, it's still a projected sense of self on someone that's talking, and it's something being said which I understand as self-inquiry because I read of or have not practiced, and I make an opinion, another impression, and I think there's past, there's future, and there's this my experience in this reality projected in the mind. So all these can happen if the mind somehow it's prepared for self-destruction, as in it inquires spontaneously in the source. So whoever still says that this is nothing appearing as everything, or still is talking about the present moment, about a reality that's in front of their eyes and seems in a way, that's still being hypnotized, that's still being trapped in an illusion that there's something actually happening, and there's still the seer that sees nothing being everything, or that something happening which is illusory. Without a mind, nothing can be said, so it's just complete silence. So you can say it like this: instead of describing an experience for someone to understand, it's better for them to find out for themselves. And this doesn't happen by understanding. This happens when you're too tired to understand, and the reality itself is questioned with the one that's having an experience of the reality. So it's spontaneous because the I is tired of going outside with the attention attached to objects and have this subject-object relationship, because it brings pain, it brings suffering, and it's just an illusion. And the whole connecting to things is illusory, a stored impression that happens because the I thinks outside its happiness. But even inside there's no happiness, because inside is mental chatter that projects the outside. So then the only thing that the I can do as a last resort is use self-inquiry not as a method but as a sword to cut the one that's wielding the sword, to let the boundless energy expand out of the contraction, seeing that there was never a contraction. But again, all these things are understood if there's no sense of experience, and the sword that's wielding itself and cut the samurai is seen that there was never a sword or a samurai, because the whole fighting was illusory, and actually you can say it never happened. So it's not that something's actually happening or not. All these are questions, never-ending questions, which still brings the mind outside in the sun, and it's getting somehow dried out, and it suffers and it gets skin burned and all that. So when it's tired of this game of going outside in the sun, it goes inside, but again not as a place in time and space. It goes inside as in the projector, it's suddenly starting to blink. So now it's projecting an experience, then the experience is cancelled because it's too much suffering. Again, experience is cancelled. Again, experience is cancelled. But when the experience is cancelled, there's no knowing that the experience is cancelled. So that's why it's a tough thing to say. It's a thought-provoking thing, because you're not there to see this actually. So the mind that's trying to cancel itself actually is not even a mind. It's this boundless energy, and that's it. And when there's no awareness even of the boundless energy as being a thing or something, is just that. If there's still a sense of contraction, and I'm not talking about the body contraction, that's still illusory. If we're still talking bodies, we're still talking about a physical reality. I'm talking about a contraction which can't be known and can't be understood, because when it's sought for, it's not there. That's the I. So self-inquiry will not happen unless you are tired of running after cars, after fame, basically when you're tired of seeking. The subject can't stay without objects, without content, and automatically abides in the source naturally. And self-inquiry is just a byproduct of this apparent happening, which doesn't even happen at all. That's how mind-blowing it is. Even if this is not understood, I'll give you another example. Self-inquiry is like this. And again, all these are stories. Self-inquiry is like this. You hear, you're not aware of it, of yourself. Something is behind your back and it's talking. And it's through talking, experience happens. Because this talking happens somehow in a mind field. Everything is projected. But the mind is also the content, also the subject that's projecting this content. So when there's this mind chatter, there's an I there that's hypnotized and staring at a screen. So somehow, for the boundless energy to be seen as boundless energy, this projector will be cut off through self-inquiry. So each time there's the voice happening, you don't focus on the voice which projects the reality. It's more, and again, this is just like I'm describing through an action. This is like looking towards your shoulder and see that there's no one there. And there's again, oh, I'm feeling so bad, I'm feeling so and then you look, and there's no one there. And then again, I know I'm a seeker, I know I'm enlightened, I'm having this process and then you look, and then there's no one there. This is still done, it's still done as a practice with words, who am I or who is having this experience. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who has this, it's the who. When it's deepened, as in it's not forced, it's all automatically this. And when it's this, only this, and there's no more looking towards the content, this is seen as the subject, which is looking towards itself. All this is seen as a simple, you can say as an object itself. The whole subject questioning itself becomes an object itself, okay? And it disappears, and it's only this. But when there are no more impressions left to go outside, and it's just chill, this is seen as, or only the boundless energy remains. And it's seen as you are never looking outside nor inside. Nothing ever happened. No creation, no destruction, no thought, no mind, no boundless energy, no experience, no life, no suffering, nothing. No death, no birth, nothing. Somehow, if there's still self-inquiry going on, either it's spontaneous or not, there are still impressions. But the highest teaching or the highest point is not the inquiry, because this will become a treat for the dog. It will become a gift for the mind. The highest teaching is just complete silence. Because silence is complete, so then I'll cut the word complete if this is understood, and there's just the word silence. But if we cut the word silence, there's no silence. If we cut even the thought about silence, there's no silence. If we cut the whole experience of the one being in silence, there's only silence, and that can't be said.